By the way, Republicans had another impressive losing election night last night. Now, I got to admit, I wasn't paying close attention because I don't really care. I think both parties suck, but I also think that Republicans want to lose. And they did so admirably last night. I actually did write a piece on my Substack that I want to make everyone aware of. My Substack is Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. This is where I'm doing journalism on the internet that you will not find anywhere else, bringing you the latest in the leftist cultural revolution takeover of this country and how they're doing it. I break down the woke ideology. I explain the psychology behind it. I give you clips of real life socialists telling you what they're going to do to the world. I tell you what's coming. I explain what's going on in the schools. I explain what's going on in the world. I break it all down in painstaking detail. And one of the reasons I do that is because last night in Ohio, the good people of Ohio voted away parental rights. Now, they didn't think that they voted away parental rights. They thought that they were voting on an abortion bill. Or not even an abortion bill, an amendment to the state constitution. It was a ballot measure that basically enshrined the right of abortion in the state constitution. Because of course, the big thing that's going to drag the Republican Party down, probably for the rest of their lives, is that they took the bait and could not stop effing with abortion. They couldn't let it go. They had to drag it all the way to the Supreme Court because they were like, we're saving babies! And of course, back in 2021, when they dragged it to the Supreme Court, I was like, you morons just took the bait that the left set for you. And they said, no, we're saving babies. And then the Roe v. Wade draft decision was released in May of last year. And I said, you morons just lost every close election for the rest of your life. And I got raked over the coals for that one, man. If I wasn't already excommunicated from the right on that one, I was certainly excommunicated after I told them that they effed themselves probably for the rest of their lives with this. And they said, no, Carlyn, no, you are a leftist and you do not understand that normal Americans don't care about abortion. The only reason that you care about abortion is you are a leftist. Was told this for weeks. Well, the midterm elections roll around in 2022 and oh, wouldn't you know it, I was right. And I took many victory laps after that because I had been raked over the coals. Every conservative influencer. No, Carlyn, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you are just a leftist and you love abortion. And that's why you're saying this is going to be a big issue. Oh, well, it didn't seem so much that way in the midterms in 2022, did it? And now the same thing has happened again. And a ballot measure was put on the ballot in Ohio to enshrine abortion in the state constitution. Now, because Republicans don't effing listen to me ever, because they have convinced themselves that I'm crazy, when in fact I actually almost always turn out to be right. Because Republicans don't listen to me ever, Republicans didn't listen to me when I went undercover at the Socialist Reproductive Justice Conference back in April. And it was funny because it was a day-long Socialist Reproductive Justice Conference. And do you know what they spent all their time talking about at the day-long Socialist Reproductive Justice Conference back in April? They spent all their time talking about trans-affirming care for kids. I actually met at the Socialist Reproductive Justice Conference back in April. I met a representative from a psychotherapy group in Western Massachusetts who provides psychotherapy to trans 3-year-olds. No joke, wrote about it on my Substack. Fast forward to the socialism conference that I went undercover at in September, and they had all these panels on abortion. We watched one of them on this channel. And in the panels about abortion, what were they talking about? Laws against trans-affirming surgery. I say that to say this. Because Republicans never listen to me, they have absolutely no idea that on the left, the people who are writing the ballot measures that were on the ballot in Ohio last night, the people that are writing the ballot measures see abortion and trans surgery as inextricably linked. They do not talk about abortion without talking about trans surgery, and mostly trans surgery for kids. Every single conference presentation that the far left does about abortion that I have been to in person in the last year and a half, and the ones we've watched online, every single one of those presentations also has trans affirming care for minors in it. They never talk about one issue without talking about the other. Last night, a measure passed in Ohio, and you can read my analysis of it on the Substack right now. When Ohio passed the amendment to the state constitution to enshrine abortion as a right for everyone up until birth, that amendment had an interesting wording. I'll just go in and I'll read it to you. I'll give away the farm on this one. That measure said, provide a state constitutional right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions, including but not limited to decisions about abortion, contraception, fertility, treatment, miscarriage, continuing pregnancy, and yada, 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 yada. Including but not limited to is basically like saying other duties as assigned on a job description. What they are going to use this for is they are going to use this in the state of Ohio to make sure that trans children have access to gender affirming care, which affects their fertility, whether or not they have parental permission for it. This is going to affect parental permission and parental notification around kids getting trans medical care in Ohio. And this is all because Republicans don't effing listen when people try to tell them what the left is doing. So I hope the Republicans in Ohio that literally just had their parental rights taken away as an amendment to the state constitution, because they don't listen, I hope they're happy. And this, by the way, guys, this type of thing, this is how the woke left is going to attack the nuclear family. This is how they're going to abolish the nuclear family. They're going to do it through reproductive justice. They're going to do it by eliminating the gender binary. They're going to do it by transing and queering as many kids as possible. That's how they're going to do it. By getting people to vote away their own rights. And again, because Republicans don't listen to anyone, they have no idea what the left is going to put in these measures that they can't predict because they don't really understand the left. So, that's the type of stuff I cover on my Substack. If you want to support the work I'm doing, you can head over there, read that article, read about what's going on, read in the life after the Marxist utopia. I wrote a story last night. Well, not a story. A lot of people have asked me, Carlin, what happens when the left wins? Oh, I'll tell you what happens when the left wins. I wrote it all out, broke it all down for you. That's the type of stuff I do on my Substack. If you want to fund the work I'm doing, please sign up for $8 a month or $80 a year on the Substack. And when you do so, breaking news, before the end of the year, and I am not giving out the dates of when this is going to happen yet, because if I gave out the dates, I might give away what I'm doing. But before the end of the year, I am going to be conducting my biggest woke event training infiltration ever. This is not one presentation. Normally when we spy stream stuff, we do one presentation, like a couple hours. I have spy streamed up to 1 day long of events. But before the end of the year, I'm going to bring you a live, multi-day, woke event infiltration that you don't want to miss. I previewed this to some of my supporters earlier today in our supporter Zoom call. And I got to tell you, don't give it away, guys. But for people who are on the Zoom call, let everyone know how good this event infiltration is going to be. Let everyone just like don't talk about the subject matter at all, but just let people know if you think this event infiltration is going to be juicy. Yep, Kino's helping me out with it. It's going to be huge. We're so excited. It's a really, really, really good one. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be some of the wokest, cringiest teacher training that you have ever seen in your life. And you're going to be able to watch the whole thing live because we're setting it up so that we can bring it to you live. You can sit in and watch what the teachers in your kids' schools are being trained to teach your kids. It's going to be happening before the end of the year. And the only people who will get access to it are people who are supporters of my work, either on my Substack or Locals or Patreon or Twitter subscribers or YouTube channel members. But if you have to choose one, I do ask that you become a subscriber on my Substack. I'm trying to get 200 more subscribers before the end of the year. We're a little over 25% of the way there, so we're like actually right on track, which is great. But guys, this is going to be worth the price of admission. I promise you. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be amazing. And I want all of you to be in on it as well. You are going to get multiple days worth of supporter-only content that takes you live inside a teacher training event to show you exactly and precisely what your kids are going to be learning in the classroom. That's what you get when you sign up for my Substack over at Carlyn, Karlyn.substack.com.